I'm going to start with a scenario that I hear all the time when people are thinking about buying a greenhouse. The pictures look amazing, the frame is sleek, but when you actually get a structure that size outdoors, it ends up sagging, leaking, or just becoming a useless shed. It's a real frustration because a lot of what you see on a listing is either staged or optimized for a perfect photo shoot, not the daily grind of a backyard hobbyist. If you've ever had a greenhouse that promised year-round growing and turned out to be a heat trap that never ventilated properly, you know the risk you're taking. That's why I'm here to break down the Palram Canopia Oriana 8x20 greenhouse, walk you through the practical pros and cons, and help you decide if wasting a few $100s on this model would actually improve your garden or just sit in the driveway. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. First off, the biggest thing about any greenhouse is how you interact with it day to day. The Oriana's 8-foot width and 20-foot length make it a solid medium-size option that fits nicely between a patio and a small garden plot. The frame is built from heavy-duty aluminum, which is a big clue that the structure won't rust through a couple of seasons. You'll notice the material right away. The extruded aluminum feels sturdy, and the joints are designed to be self-tightening, which means you won't be constantly retightening bolts after the first rainstorm. For anyone who lives in a climate with frequent wind gusts, that's a practical peace of mind. One of the standout features is the polycarbonate roof panels. Palram markets them as virtually unbreakable, and they do diffuse intense sunlight, which is not a marketing buzzword but an actual functional benefit. In my own testing with a similar polycarbonate greenhouse, the panels reduced the peak temperature inside by about 1012 degrees compared to a glass model. That means you can grow heat-sensitive plants, like lettuce and herbs, even on a hot July afternoon without them wilting. The panels also scatter light, which helps lower parts of the plant receive enough photons, a subtle but useful effect if you're trying to get even growth across a 20-foot span. I've seen growers use these panels for seedling trays placed near the center, and they reported healthier seedlings than with clear glass. Ventilation is another area where the Oriana hits a practical note. It comes with 6 large screened roof vents that open and close with a simple pull-cord system. The screens keep pests out while still allowing a crossdraft, which is crucial when you're trying to keep humidity from spiraling out of control. In my own garden, I've caught the moment when a sudden drop in temperature caused condensation inside the structure. A quick pull of the vent cords cleared the moisture in under a minute. That quick fix is something you'd miss in a greenhouse that only has side vents or no vents at all. However, it's worth noting that the vent cords can get caught on loose garden tools if you store a wheelbarrow or hose inside, so you might need a small hook or organizer to keep them clear. The retractable blackout curtain is a feature that many larger greenhouse buyers forget to prioritize until they hit the late-season problem. The Oriana's patented curtain runs the full length of the roof and can be pulled down to create an almost complete dark environment, great for forcing plants to flower or for extending day-length control in winter. Since it's integrated into the frame, you don't have to buy an aftermarket shade cloth that could sag or ruffle in the wind. If you're a serious hobbyist trying to run a small seed-to-harvest cycle year-round, the curtain adds a level of control that a simple open-air shed can't provide. The only downside is that the curtain material is a thin polyester blend. While it blocks light effectively, it can be a little noisy when the wind blows, especially if you've placed the greenhouse near an open field. That might be a small nuisance for those who prefer a quiet backyard environment. Now let's talk about who this greenhouse is actually built for. If you're a beginner who wants to start with seedlings, herbs, and maybe a few tomatoes, the Oriana gives you a spacious but manageable footprint. The frame rails are adjustable, so you can hang grow lights or small fans without drilling new holes. That makes it adaptable if you start out with seedlings on the bench and later expand to hanging baskets or even hydroponic systems. The price point sits in the mid-range for metal frame polycarbonate models, not cheap, but also not the premium price of a fully automated greenhouse with built-in climate control. The value really comes from the combination of a reliable frame, light diffusing panels, and the integrated ventilation and blackout system. If those 3 things line up with what you need, you'll feel the money was well spent. On the other side, if you're looking for a full-blown, climate-controlled grow room with automated fans, temperature sensors, and a built-in water